She doesn't want a younger guy. She wants the older man who moves slow, leads quiet, and makes her body relax. Let's be real, folks. Most men hit midlife and start overcompensating. Flashier moves, endless texting, then wonder why she feels nothing. You keep proving, explaining, chasing, and try-hard signals kill the thing she craves calm strength. Meanwhile, the man who says little decides clearly and keeps his world in order. He's the one she thinks about when she closes the door. I'm here to wake you up, not to comfort you. Women love older men for 7 reasons that have nothing to do with luck and everything to do with discipline, unshakable confidence, emotional maturity, financial and lifestyle, stability, silent leadership boundaries. She respects and desire that doesn't beg. Master these and you stop selling yourself. You become the thing she chooses. Tonight, I'll give you the blueprint. What to show, what to withhold, how to pace a conversation, how to use stillness instead of speeches, and how to turn moments, ordering dinner, handling delays, ending the night into proof of frame. No gimmicks, no corny lines, just a mature masculine operating system. You can run immediately. If you felt overlooked or replaceable, stay with me. By the end, you'll know why older men win and how to make her feel safer and more excited with you than with anyone else. Let's get into it. Number 1, she craves the one. She craves the man who moves slow. Man who moves slow. Most men rush everything, the text, the touch, the talk. They think speed equals confidence. But to a woman, it signals anxiety. Attraction isn't born in motion. It's born in control. When you move slow, when your energy says, I'm not in a hurry, she feels something deeper. Curiosity, safety, desire. Picture this. Chris, 52, met Megan, 45, at a co-worker's retirement dinner in San Diego. He spoke less than other men, asked simple questions, and actually allowed silence. When she teased him, he smiled, held eye contact, and answered after a beat. No scramble to impress, no rapid-fire stories, just steady presence. By dessert, Megan was leaning in, matching his pace and touching her necklace as she listened. He didn't chase her attention. His timing pulled it. Women read timing before words. Fast speech, instant replies, and fidgeting communicate a nervous system looking for approval. Slow breath, measured tone, and deliberate pauses communicate a man who approves of himself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself." Translate that here. Manage your impulses, not her reactions. Your discipline creates her relaxation. Moving slow does not mean being passive. It means you lead the tempo. Walk a half step ahead without rushing. Hold the menu calmly and decide. Let her finish a story without jumping in to top it. When she tests with a playful jab smile and let the moment breathe, that beat between stimulus and response is where masculine authority lives. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence on the future." Your unhurried presence proves you're here now, and that makes her feel safe. Try this the next time you meet a woman. Lower your voice slightly. Shorten your sentences. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your phone away. When she asks a personal question, answer briefly, then redirect with curiosity. What about you? If she flirts, don't rush the escalation. Let the tension simmer. Desire is a slow-cooked meal, not a microwave snack. Another real scene. Robert, 55, a contractor from Tampa, met Elena, 43, after a community charity run. While others layered compliments, he noticed her breathing matched it for a moment and kept conversation unhurried. When she suggested grabbing coffee sometime, he nodded and said, "Wednesday works late afternoon." "I know a quiet spot, decisive, unrushed, clear." She smiled because leadership delivered relief, not pressure. Psychologically, a slower pace widens her attention. Uncertainty paired with calm raises dopamine just enough to make her curious, while your steadiness regulates oxytocin and safety. That cocktail feels like attraction. Epictetus taught, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Freedom from hurry is the most attractive signal an older man can send. Common mistakes to avoid narrating your resume, over-explaining jokes, filling every silence, and texting back within seconds like you're on call. Replace those with thoughtful pauses, concise statements, confident decisions, and strategic space. You're not withholding, you're conducting. Practice drill on your next date. Breathe in 4 out 6 for 5 minutes before meeting. Walk at your natural pace, not hers. Wait 2 rings before answering calls. Leave a beat before smiling. Small disciplines stack into signal. A man unhurried by outcome, focused on presence. She won't name it, but her body will instantly drop it below. I move slowly. Stay tuned, because next will turn unhurried tempo into magnetic calm she feels before you even speak. Number 2, calm confidence is her weakness. Here's the truth, my second. Calm confidence is her weakness. Friend, women don't fall for the loudest man in the room. They fall for the one who doesn't need the room at all. The man who moves with quiet certainty, who speaks when he chooses, and whose energy says, "I don't chase, I choose." That's calm confidence. It's not about ego or dominance. It's about peace that feels like power. Most men confuse confidence with noise. They talk too much, flex too hard, and push too fast. But what women actually respond to is the opposite: composure under pressure. When you stay relaxed, grounded, and unbothered, you show her something rare. Control. And control, especially emotional control, is the purest form of strength. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." That's the secret older men understand. You can't control her interest, her reactions, or her moods, but you can always control how you show up. And that calmness, that steady presence, creates the emotional safety that women crave more than words, gifts, or promises ever could. Think about the times you lost attraction with a woman. It wasn't because you weren't good looking enough. It was when you started reacting, getting nervous, when she pulled back, talking faster to fill silence or trying to win her over. Those little cracks in your calm told her everything she needed to know, that your center depends on her approval. But when you stop performing and simply are, everything changes. You're not chasing her validation. You're letting her feel yours. Calm confidence flips the polarity. Suddenly, she's wondering what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and how she can earn your attention. Seneca once wrote, "He who is brave is free." A calm man is brave because he isn't enslaved by outcome. He can walk away. He can stay silent. He can wait. That's why women trust older men, not just for what they have, but for what they can handle. If she gets emotional, you stay grounded. If she tests your patience, you smile. If she withdraws, you don't panic. You stay composed. This steadiness tells her, "You've been here before." It says, "I don't need to control you to feel secure." That's when she begins to surrender, not out of weakness, but out of respect. Calm confidence also makes you unpredictable in the best way. She can't read you instantly, so her curiosity grows. You're not trying to entertain her. You're inviting her into your world where stillness has its own gravity. Here's what you need to practice. When a woman speaks, listen without rushing to respond. When silence shows up, let it breathe. When tension rises, hold your frame and relax your body. Calmness is contagious. She'll start to mirror your rhythm. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be centered. A calm man doesn't fight to be seen. He becomes impossible to ignore. Now, I want you to pause for a second and ask yourself, are you the storm or the calm after it? Drop it in the comments. I choose calm. Stay with me because next we'll uncover how emotional steadiness becomes raw attraction, the kind that makes her feel something she can't explain but never wants to lose. Number 3, maturity turns chaos into 3. Maturity turns chaos into desire. Desire. Let me tell you something, my friend. A woman doesn't fall for a man who has it all figured out. She falls for the one who stays composed when everything falls apart. Maturity is the quiet power that turns emotional chaos into connection. And when you bring that kind of grounded energy into a woman's life, it doesn't just calm her, it attracts her. Take this real example. Mark, 49, divorced and raising 2 teens, met Olivia, 42, a marketing director who just come out of a messy breakup. She admitted early on that she didn't trust easily. One evening, after a long day, she snapped at him over something small, running late to dinner. Instead of reacting, Mark looked at her, smiled gently, and said, "It's okay. You've had a rough week. Let's just grab a drink and relax." He didn't lecture her, didn't withdraw, didn't make it about ego. He let the storm pass. And in that moment, she saw something she hadn't seen in years. A man who could hold space instead of creating more chaos. That's the heart of maturity, being steady when emotions rise. You don't need to win every argument or correct every misunderstanding. You just need to show her that her storms don't shake your peace. That's what turns resistance into desire. You see, younger men often mistake conflict for rejection. They take a woman's emotion personally, as if her mood defines their worth. But a mature man understands emotion isn't a threat. It's a test. It's her way of asking, "Can I trust your strength when I lose mine?" When you stay calm and kind through her chaos, she starts to feel safe enough to let go. And that safety becomes the foundation of attraction. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy." In relationships, that means you don't mirror her chaos, you transform it. If she's loud, you stay calm. If she's anxious, you stay patient. If she's uncertain, you stay sure. That polarity, her storm meeting, your stillness, creates the spark that makes her feel both grounded and excited. Here's what most men miss about suppressing emotion. It's about managing it. You feel anger, frustration, even hurt, but you choose your response. You give yourself a moment to breathe, to think, to decide. That pause is where power lives. Olivia told Mark later that what made her fall wasn't his words. It was the silence between them, the way he didn't need to prove himself. Maturity also means knowing when to walk away. When an argument stops being productive, you don't chase closure. You choose peace. When a woman tests you, you don't panic. You let time do the talking. That's the energy of a man who values himself too much to fight small battles. Desire thrives in stability. A woman can't feel drawn to a man she has to manage. But when you become her calm in the storm, she naturally leans into you, not out of dependency, but respect. So ask yourself, when conflict comes, do you react or respond? Do you fuel the fire or do you turn it into warmth? Drop it in the comments. I bring calm. Stick with me, because next we'll explore how real stability doesn't just make her trust you, it makes her want you in ways she can't explain. Number 4, stability is the new sexy. 4. Stability is the new sexy. Let's get something straight. Chaos might get attention, But stability keeps desire alive. In a world where everyone is chasing dopamine, scrolling for validation, and jumping from one distraction to the next, a stable man feels like gravity. He's not the loudest, the richest, or the flashiest. He's the one whose life has rhythm, order, and direction. And that, my friend, is the kind of energy women crave more than abs or a fancy car. Stability doesn't mean boring. It means consistent, predictable in action, but never predictable in presence. When your emotions, routines, and boundaries are steady, a woman's nervous system relaxes around you. She can feel it. Your peace becomes contagious. That's when attraction deepens from surface-level excitement into something primal trust. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful than your own soul." That's what real stability is. Not a bank account, not a routine, but an inner foundation no storm can shake. When you live from that center, you stop chasing highs and start radiating calm authority. Women pick up on it instantly. They sense when a man's house is in order, not just his home, but his habits, his finances, his focus. And here's what's wild. Stability is incredibly erotic when it's masculine. It's not about controlling her, it's about controlling yourself, your discipline, your direction, your sense of purpose. Those are signals of emotional and sexual maturity. A stable man is exciting because he's rare. He's the calm eye in a world spinning out of control. Let's break it down. A man who's stable keeps promises, but not to please others, because his word means something to him. He plans, but he can adapt. He doesn't disappear when things get hard. He doesn't need a woman to motivate him. He's already moving. That reliability builds anticipation. When she knows your presence is solid, her feminine energy can relax, and that's when her attraction deepens. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." A stable man doesn't hope for good outcomes. He creates them. He's consistent with his health, money, and emotions. He doesn't explode when something goes wrong. He adjusts. That predictability isn't dull. It's magnetic. Because in a world where everyone's overstimulated, stability feels like safety, and safety is the foundation of desire. So, how do you embody it? First, build routines that serve you, not ones that trap you. Morning exercise, quiet time, and purposeful work aren't chores. They're proof of mastery. Second, stop chasing emotional drama. If someone wants chaos, let them have it somewhere else. Third, keep your circle tight and your word tighter. Stability grows when you stop overpromising and start following through. When you live like this, women feel something they can't name. They trust your silence. They believe your touch, and they start to imagine a life that revolves around your rhythm. Now, if you want to take this mindset to another level, join the membership. Inside, I'll show you how to build unshakable masculine structure routines, emotional control, and real-world exercises that make stability your natural state. Because when your inner world is calm, your outer world follows. And remember, being stable doesn't make you less exciting, it makes you unforgettable. Stay tuned, because next we'll uncover how not chasing and not giving too much actually makes her chase you harder than ever. Number 5, she feels it when you don't chase. Let's 5. She feels it when you don't chase. Talk about something most men never learn. Chasing kills attraction. The harder you push, the faster she pulls away. And yet, when you stop chasing, something strange happens. She leans in, she starts to notice you more, text you first, mirror your energy. Why? Because women don't fall for pursuit, they fall for presence. Here's a real story. Daniel, 51, divorced for 3 years, met Rachel, 46, at a friend's wine tasting in Chicago. They clicked instantly. Easy laughs, subtle flirting. After their first date, she went quiet. Most men would have panicked texting, asking what's wrong, trying to fix it. But Daniel didn't chase. He kept living his life, focusing on his business and gym routine. 10 days later, Rachel messaged him. "Hey, been thinking about you." That's not coincidence. That's biology. She felt his absence, not his anxiety. You see, chasing tells her you're uncertain. It says, "I need you to validate me." But withholding the chase, not out of strategy, but out of self-respect, flips the dynamic. It shows her you're full even without her. That's when curiosity turns into attraction. A woman can sense energy faster than logic. When you send multiple texts, over-explain, or try to convince her how much you care, she feels pressure. But when your energy is calm and detached, she feels mystery. The space to miss you. Desire needs space. It grows in the silence between interactions, not in constant pursuit. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength." That's exactly why not chasing works. It's not indifference, it's control. You're choosing where to put your attention. You're showing that your emotions belong to you, not to her responses. Daniel told me later that during those 10 days, he wasn't playing games. He genuinely wasn't worried. He knew what he brought to the table. That's what women feel. They feel when a man is secure enough to give them space. They feel when your world doesn't collapse just because they go quiet. Think about the times you over-pursued. You probably noticed that the more effort you gave, the colder she became. That's not her punishing you. That's her biology reacting. Women are drawn to polarity, masculine energy that leads, not follows. When you stop chasing, you're not being cold. You're showing strength, restraint, and patience qualities that older men naturally have when they've lived through enough storms to know that neediness never wins. Here's the key. Don't withhold affection out of fear. Do it from abundance. Keep building your world, your career, your hobbies, your peace. When she sees that your energy is already invested in purpose, not validation, she'll start chasing that calm. Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." Brave men aren't afraid to walk away. They don't demand attention, they command it. You can't lose what you never cling to. So, here's your practice. Stop checking your phone waiting for her reply. Stop planning your next text. Instead, plan your next move in life. The less you chase, the more she feels your pull. Drop it in the comments. I don't chase. Stick with me, because next we'll talk about how real power isn't in saying more or doing more. It's in leading without words and letting her feel your dominance before you even touch her. Number 6, the power of silent leadership. Here's 6, the power of silent leadership. Something most men never figure out. Leadership doesn't require noise. Real power doesn't announce itself. It moves quietly, confidently, and with intention. Women can feel when a man leads without having to say, "Follow me." It's not about control. It's about direction. It's about being the kind of man who brings calm to confusion, structure to chaos, and clarity to emotion. When you walk into a room, people feel one of two things: disturbance or stability. The man who constantly talks, explains, and tries to convince everyone of his worth sends a signal of insecurity. But the man who listens, observes, and acts when necessary commands respect without a single word. Silent leadership is that the ability to guide through example, not volume. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." That's the essence of quiet leadership. You don't need to tell the world who you are. You simply are. Your discipline speaks louder than your declarations. When a woman senses that steady masculine direction She feels safe enough to surrender her own control. Silent leadership doesn't mean passivity. It means restraint. It means not reacting to every mood or demand, but instead holding your ground with calm authority. You're not dismissive. You're decisive. You choose your moves carefully. That restraint makes your presence feel solid. Women find that intoxicating because it allows them to relax into your lead without feeling forced. Let's be real today. Most men try to prove leadership through dominance or arguments. But a woman doesn't follow words. She follows energy. She follows consistency. She follows the man who does what he says and doesn't crumble when tested. Silent leadership is built in small moments, showing up on time, keeping your tone level during tension, being clear about your boundaries without needing to justify them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be one." That's the masculine code in its purest form. Every time you act instead of explain, you strengthen your frame. Every time you respond with logic instead of emotion, you elevate the space around you. You become the calm center others orbit around. And that's exactly why women respond to it so strongly. Silent leadership communicates competence. It tells her, "You can rest here. You don't need to manage me." It gives her something rare, peace. When you lead quietly, she doesn't feel controlled. She feels guided. And that difference is everything. Here's how you develop it. First, slow down before reacting. When she's emotional, don't match her energy. Ground it. Second, set boundaries through action, not argument. If she crosses a line, step back instead of lecturing. Third, practice being comfortable with silence. Power lives in pauses. The man who doesn't rush to fill the air holds the frame. Remember, a leader isn't defined by who follows him. He's defined by how he behaves when no one is watching. Silent leadership isn't a tactic. It's a state of being. It's the outcome of a man who knows where he's going and doesn't need applause to get there. Seneca said, "Let silence be your general rule, or say only what is necessary, and in few words take that to heart." You don't have to say much to be heard. You just have to live in a way that speaks for you. Stay tuned, because next we'll talk about how a sense of play, that balance of strength and lightness, keeps her addicted to your energy long after the conversation ends. Number 7, playfulness keeps her 7. Playfulness keeps her hooked. Hooked. Here's the thing most men misunderstand. Being serious all the time doesn't make you strong. It makes you stiff. Real masculine energy isn't just about control, discipline, or composure. It's also about playfulness. That spark, that teasing confidence, that ability to make her feel both safe and slightly off balance. That's what keeps her addicted to your presence. Women fall for men who can carry both power and lightness. Let's take an example. Ethan, 48, a marketing consultant from Austin, met Sarah, 43, through mutual friends at a coffee shop. He wasn't the most handsome or the richest guy there, but his vibe was magnetic. When Sarah joked that he looked like a retired rock star, Ethan didn't deny it or get defensive. He smiled and said, "Yeah, I quit before fame could ruin me." That one line made her laugh, but it also revealed something deeper. Confidence mixed with humour. It told her he didn't take himself too seriously. From that moment, she leaned in. That's the secret. Playfulness is tension without pressure. It's not clownish behaviour. It's charm under control. It says, "I'm comfortable enough with myself to enjoy you, not perform for you." And women can feel that distinction. Playfulness is powerful because it balances masculine authority with emotional freedom. When you tease her lightly, when you smile after saying something bold, You're inviting her into your energy without forcing it. It's a dance you lead, she follows, but both of you enjoy the rhythm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Take full account of what excellence really means, and then say and do what is worthy of it." That applies to playfulness too. True play doesn't come from immaturity. It comes from mastery. You can only be playful when you're grounded enough to not need control. A man who's at ease with himself brings lightness even into serious moments, and that lightness is deeply attractive. When Ethan later told me about his dynamic with Sarah, he said something interesting. She told me I made her feel young again. That's the power of playfulness. It disarms a woman's defenses. It brings her back into her feminine emotional flow. You see, life hardens, people, bills, deadlines, heartbreaks. When she's with you, she doesn't want more weight. She wants release. And a man who knows when to smile, when to tease, when to wink instead of lecture, that man becomes unforgettable. But don't mistake this for goofiness or try-hard humour. The difference between charm and desperation is tone. A man who's playful isn't seeking approval. He's enjoying the moment. His eyes say, "I see you and I'm not afraid of you." That subtle confidence makes her drop her guard faster than any line or compliment ever could. Playfulness also shows emotional intelligence. It means you can read energy, adjust your approach, and keep things fluid. When tension rises, you diffuse it with ease. When she tests you, you smile instead of defend yourself. You're unpredictable in the best way. Solid, yet light. Here's the truth. Women chase the feeling you give them, not your words. If she laughs with you, she bonds with you. If she feels joy around you, she'll crave your presence. And the man who can make her feel safe and playful, that's the man she won't forget. So, take this with you. Don't be afraid to enjoy the game. Flirt without need. Smile without reason. Because the moment you stop trying to impress her and start enjoying her, she'll fall deeper than you expect. Stick with me, because next we'll uncover how this same balance of calm, power, and playfulness transforms into something deeper, emotional magnetism that makes her feel like you've known her forever. Number 8, she respects 8. She respects what she can't control. What she can't control. Let's get something straight, my friend. A woman doesn't truly love what she controls. She might enjoy the comfort. She might like the attention, but deep down, she respects what she can't fully own. And respect, not affection, is what sustains attraction. When she realizes she can't bend your emotions, when she can't predict your reactions, that's when you become unforgettable. Stoics understood this long before modern psychology caught up. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That's your foundation. A woman feels drawn to the man who is governed by purpose, not persuasion. The man whose peace cannot be disturbed by her moods, her silence, or even her withdrawal. Because that kind of control, not over her but over yourself, is the rarest form of power she'll ever experience. Let's be real, most men fail here. The moment she pulls away, they chase. The moment she tests them, they argue. The moment she withholds affection, they overcompensate. That's emotional slavery, disguised as love. And the truth is, she doesn't want a man who bends to every emotional storm she throws. She wants to feel the strength of someone who remains still in chaos. When she realizes she can't manipulate your emotions, not because you're cold, but because you're centered, something shifts inside her. She stops testing and starts trusting. She might not even understand why she's drawn to you, but she'll feel safe in your steadiness and intrigued by your independence. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. When you embody that principle, you're not playing games. You're living grounded masculinity. You're saying you can do what you want. I remain who I am. That's what commands respect. See, modern dating has created a generation of men obsessed with approval. They try to please, to prove, to persuade. But that only leads to resentment because women don't want to feel like they have emotional authority over a man. They want to feel inspired by his self-control. When she can't control you, she starts to respect you. And respect is the doorway to genuine admiration. She starts to realize she can't predict your every move. Not because you're playing some cold strategy, but because your focus isn't centered on her validation. You're busy leading your life, mastering your craft, and holding your frame. That mystery, that quiet dominance, is what ignites her feminine energy. Here's the paradox. The more you try to win her approval, the less you have it. But the more you live according to your standards, your purpose, and your rhythm, the more she naturally aligns with your energy. She feels safe surrendering because she senses you won't crumble if she pulls away. That's why emotional independence is the ultimate masculine edge. It's what makes older men so magnetic. They've lived enough to know that control is an illusion, but composure is a choice. So remember this. The moment she realizes she can't predict or manipulate you, that's the moment she starts to trust you, not out of fear, but out of respect. Because a man she can't control is a man she can finally relax with. Seneca said it best. He who controls himself is greater than he who conquers a city. That's your reminder. You don't need to dominate her. You just need to master yourself. Stay with me, because next we'll talk about how that same emotional discipline, when combined with subtle presence, creates something even deeper. The kind of aura that makes her feel your power without you saying a word. Number 9, authentic desire never ages. Here's something you need to 9. Authentic desire never ages. Understand, my friend, desire doesn't fade with time. It fades with pretense. What truly keeps a woman drawn to a man, regardless of his age, is authentic desire, not neediness, not desperation, but that grounded, self-assured pull that comes from knowing what you want and not being afraid to express it. Let's talk about this in real life. James, 52, a carpenter from Denver, met Eleanor, 41, at a local art gallery. He didn't approach her with pick-up lines or flashy compliments. He simply said, "You've got a way of looking at things that tells me you notice details most people miss." It wasn't rehearsed. It was real. He wasn't trying to impress her. He was expressing genuine attraction with calm confidence. And you know what happened? She leaned in. Because women feel it when your desire is authentic. It's in your tone, your body language, your stillness. It's subtle but unmistakable. The kind of desire that comes from a man who doesn't need her approval to feel whole. Authentic desire isn't about chasing youth or playing games. It's about connection that transcends age. It's the energy of a man who's lived enough to understand that physical attraction is only one layer. What really draws a woman in is emotional gravity. When you want her but don't need her, that's when she feels the tension that pulls her closer. Think about it. A younger man often burns with hunger, but his energy is scattered, unstable. An older man burns with purpose. His fire is slower, deeper, controlled. He knows when to hold eye contact, when to say nothing, when to make his presence felt without a single move. That's what women crave. A man who's not driven by impulse, but by intention. Desire, when rooted in authenticity, doesn't depend on physical perfection. It depends on awareness. You see her not as an object, but as an experience. You notice her expression, her tone, her silence. And when you engage her from that awareness, she feels seen, not pursued. That's where the connection turns from surface level to magnetic. Women often say confidence is sexy, but what they truly mean is authenticity is irresistible. When a man is authentic, he becomes ageless. His presence has depth. His touch feels deliberate. His words carry weight because they're not filtered through insecurity or fear. Let's be real. Women can smell fake desire from miles away. They know when a man's compliment is empty, when his attention is performative. But when it's real, when your eyes meet hers and there's no performance, no agenda, just steady intent, that's when she softens. She feels safe enough to be feminine, and that's when desire becomes mutual. As Marcus Aurelius said, waste no time on what others think of you. It is your actions that define you. That's the essence of authenticity. You express what's true without apology, without hesitation. And that truth, that quiet confidence, is timeless. So whether you're 35 or 65, the rule remains the same. She doesn't fall for your age, your looks, or your status. She falls for your presence. The way you make her feel when she's near you. The way your energy steadies hers. Authentic desire never ages because it isn't about what's external. It's about what's felt. Be that man whose fire burns steady. The one who knows what he wants, who stands firm in who he is, and who leads with calm passion. That's the kind of desire that doesn't fade, it evolves. Stay tuned, because next we'll uncover the final secret. How to become the kind of man she not only desires, but admits she can't replace. Number 10. Be the calm she can't live without. Here's the truth, my friend. A 10. Be the calm she can't live without. Woman might be drawn to your looks, your charm, or your ambition. But what keeps her coming back is your calm. Not the kind that's passive or distant, but the deep, grounded calm that makes her feel safe just by being near you. In a world where everyone's shouting for attention, the man who radiates quiet power becomes unforgettable. Calm isn't weakness, it's command. It's the ability to stand firm when life or she throws chaos your way. A woman's emotions can shift like waves, but your presence must stay like the ocean floor, unshaken, steady, and sure. When she sees that you don't get lost in her storms, she realizes you're different. You're not here to fight her emotions. You're here to hold space for them. That's what earns her trust and ultimately her devotion. Let's get real. Most men react. They argue, defend, over-explain, or pull away. They get pulled into her emotional rhythm and lose control of their own. But the older man who has learned to breathe through tension, to observe before responding, to speak less but mean more, he becomes magnetic. That kind of emotional composure is rare, and she knows it. When she's anxious, your calm becomes her anchor. When she's distant, your patience becomes her reassurance. When she tests you, your stillness becomes her reflection, showing her that no amount of emotional noise can shake your center. And that right there is the point where respect turns into something deeper. Dependence, not the toxic kind, but emotional reliance. Because when a woman feels like your presence is her peace, she can't help but want more of it. Seneca once said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." That's the essence of masculine calm. It's forged through trial, heartbreak, and failure. You earn that steadiness by walking through fire without losing yourself. And when you bring that energy into a relationship, she feels it immediately. You're not acting calm, you are calm. It's who you've become. That's why women are drawn to older men who embody emotional balance. It's not just about experience, it's about energy. You've seen enough of life to know that panic never solves anything. You've been through enough to understand that silence is sometimes the strongest response. And when you carry that kind of quiet control, she feels both challenged and comforted at once. She starts to crave that stability. Your calm becomes addictive, not because it's dramatic, but because it's constant. You make her feel like she can exhale, and that's something no thrill or chase can replace. Understand this, calm isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about mastering it. You're not detached, you're deliberate, you move slow, you think clear, you speak with weight. That's the kind of energy that dominates without domination. It's the essence of Stoic masculinity. Strength without noise, leadership without ego. When you embody that kind of calm, you stop being the man she dates. You become the man she depends on, the man she turns to when everything else feels uncertain. That's what it means to be irreplaceable, not to make her need you, but to make her feel safe in your presence. Because here's the secret. Lust fades, but peace never does. And when your energy gives her peace, your presence becomes something she can't and won't live without. You've just learned conclusion. Why women are drawn to older men, not because of money, status, or charm, but because of presence, purpose, and calm. It's not about chasing her, it's about mastering yourself. When you move with patience, lead with quiet strength, and hold your frame through every test, you stop being an option. You become the anchor she can't replace. If you found real value in this, consider joining the membership for deeper lessons on masculine psychology and Stoic discipline content designed only for men who are ready to rise above the noise. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel. This is where men come to sharpen their minds, strengthen their spirit, and reclaim their power. Thanks for watching, my friend. Stay strong, stay grounded, and I'll see you tomorrow.